What's up YouTube, Saf here on SuperSaf TV, and in this video we're going to be looking at my top 5 smartphones of 2016. So we've had an explosive range of smartphones this year. Anyway, we've had a huge range of smartphones this year, some good, some bad, and I've been using lots, as you would have seen on the channel. And based on my experience, I'm going to be giving you my top 5. Now, these are my top 5 smartphones, so it doesn't necessarily have to mean that they're going to be the same as your selection. So if you have any different choices, then drop them in the comment section below. Now, another thing to bear in mind as well is that these are in no particular order. I'm just giving you the top 5, although I will be telling you my favorite towards the end of this video. So first up, we have the Samsung Galaxy S7 and S7 Edge. Now, if you've been following me on social media, you'll know that the S7 Edge has been my daily driver for the largest part of this year. And there's many reasons for that. We have a great premium build and design. And in terms of the Edge, it is still one of the most unique looking devices out there. We've got water and dust resistance, some of the best cameras that we've had this year. And I think pretty much unanimously, most people do agree on that the S7 and S7 Edge have some great cameras. We have beautiful Super AMOLED Quad HD displays. And also this year we have SD card expansion. This was something that was not available on the S6s last year. Now the S7 and S7 Edge aren't perfect. There are some downsides. We only have a single bottom firing speaker, which isn't too great. And the battery life, in my experience, has depleted over time. So it started off really good, but now it isn't too great. Next on my list is the iPhone 7 and iPhone 7 Plus. Whoa, Saf, but you made reasons not to buy the iPhone. Well, I also made reasons to buy the iPhone. There was a balanced argument there. And yes, there are certain disadvantages of the iPhone 7 and 7 Plus. We have a very similar design to last year, so there isn't much change there. And we also lost the headphone jack, which was quite negative for a lot of people. But there are also lots of positives. We have stereo speakers, we have water and dust resistance this time, and they finally got rid of the 16GB version, which I am so pleased about. We have some great cameras, some of the best in the market. In particular on the iPhone 7 Plus, the dual lens system does work quite nicely, and you do get that optical zoom, which is quite unique. And one thing that I personally really like about iPhones is the speed. These things are crazy fast, and that does come down to the optimization. I've put these up against lots of other devices, and they have always come out on top in terms of speed when it comes to the more intensive tasks especially. And for the Android fanboys out there that are going to say it's because of the resolution, no, it's not because of the resolution, as I did do a Google Pixel test versus the iPhone 7 Plus, which both had a 1080p display, and the iPhone 7 Plus was still much faster when it came to games and things like that. Next up on my list is the Google Pixel and the Google Pixel XL. So these are the first fully Google branded phones that we've had. Previously we had the Nexus line, which has been discontinued. A few people were upset about that. I'm still not a huge fan of the design of the Google Pixels, but there are some great things about the Pixels. This is the cleanest version of Android that you're going to be getting. The Pixels have some great cameras, definitely some of the best in 2016. And in terms of dynamic range, I would say that these are the best. And that does come down to the HDR plus processing, which does wonders for images. And I'm super impressed with these cameras. And with the Google Pixels, you also get Google Assistant. So there's a heavy emphasis on the artificial intelligence side of things. And they don't disappoint. These are the best, I believe anyway, for artificial intelligence on a smartphone. It does work really well. Now, next up on my list is probably the best bang for buck smartphone that you can buy, and that is the OnePlus 3 as well as the OnePlus 3T. So yes, given the 3 and the 3T aren't as cheap as what we used to have, especially when it came to the OnePlus 1, but these are still around about half the price of something like the iPhone 7 Plus or the Google Pixel XL. So still a bargain, and for that price you do get some flagship specs. So you get the Snapdragon 820 or 821, 6GB of RAM, some nice cameras, USB Type-C with super fast charging. Dash charging is one of the fastest that I've tested out anyway. A fingerprint scanner and a near stock Android experience. So we have Oxygen OS, which I do really like because it's not too intrusive. And for me, the biggest advantage this year of the OnePlus 3 and 3T is that there is no silly invite system. So you can go ahead and purchase these when you like. You're not gonna have to wait around for somebody to send an invite, which was super annoying for the first 2 versions of the OnePlus. Now, the final smartphone on my list actually makes me a little bit emotional. And that's because it's been discontinued. It is the Samsung Galaxy Note 7. Now, I know a few of you guys are going to be saying, yeah, but that's been discontinued. How can it be one of your favorites? But it is one of my favorites. It ticked all the boxes for me. You had an absolutely gorgeous design. The dual curves, which also went onto the back, so it's symmetrical. And even despite its larger size, felt absolutely great in the hand. You had the amazing Super AMOLED display, water and dust resistance, the same great cameras that we have on the S7 and S7 Edge. And on top of that, you had the unique S Pen features, which I actually found myself using on a daily basis. It's an absolute shame that this phone had issues with the battery and the exploding, and Samsung had to call it back. Big shame, because I really enjoyed using the Note 7, as I'm sure a lot of you did as well. I'm really hopeful that Samsung will continue the Note line and will have the Note 8 next year. Now, there was lots of other great smartphones this year which do get an honorable mention. HTC 10 I did enjoy using. Huawei P9 was a great attempt from Huawei. There was also the Sony Xperia XZ, the LG V20, the Moto Aziz. Now, a lot of these didn't come to the UK at all or came very late to the UK, so I didn't get a chance to fully play around with some of these. But that was my top list. What was your favorite smartphone of 2016? Drop me a comment below and let me know. Now, if you like the skins that you saw in this video on all of these devices, then I definitely recommend checking out our sponsor for this video, which is Dbrand. It's a great and inexpensive way to customize the look of your smartphone, and I'll be leaving a link to them in the description below, so definitely do go ahead and check them out. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you did, then please do hit that thumbs up button for me. It really does help me out. And if you haven't already, then be sure to subscribe. If you're subscribed, then switch on notifications, because there's lots more content coming up on here, lots more 2016 summaries, as well as some great content in 2017. Thanks for watching. This is Saf on SuperSaf TV, and I'll see you next time. Man, I spat all over these phones.